I've been working on the revelation astrological concept and attempting to find out what exactly people believed during the period of the eclipses of 59 and 71. In this quest, I ended up in the apocryphal book of Enoch. Now, this portion of Enoch was probably written around 200 BCE, and it seems thoroughly Jewish. But chapters 72 through 82 present a cosmological model in its entirety. And there are several things fascinating about this model. First, Enoch talks about the nature of the sun, and in giving the nature of the sun, it also, by default, gives the nature of the earth. This model is a flat earth model, and Enoch states that there are 6 portals in the east and 6 in the west. The sun, depending on the time of year, enters from the east and exits through the west in different portals. And chapter 72 goes on to explain the nature of the sun in several seasons. The sun is referred to as male and never referred to as female. The sun is considered a disk, not a sphere. The sun is driven across the sky by wind. The sun and moon are the same size. The sun is considered 7 times brighter than a full moon. Now, chapter 73 begins the explanation of the moon. The moon is always spoken of as female and never male. The moon goes through the same 12 portals, and the Book of Enoch explains the different phases of the moon. Again, the moon is driven across the sky by wind, and again it's a disk, not a sphere. The light of the moon comes from the moon, not a reflection from the sun. Since the sun disappears through a portal at night, this would make sense. There are a lot of other fascinating aspects to the Enoch cosmological model, but at this point I'm going to shift gears and head back to the New Testament. What I found most interesting about the Enoch cosmological model was that the sun was spoken of as entirely male and the moon as entirely female. There is a rather odd theme in the New Testament of the bride and the bridegroom. Jesus is spoken of as the bridegroom, and assumably his followers were considered the bride. But according to the Enoch cosmological model, an eclipse could be seen as a marriage. An eclipse would explain the New Testament reference to the bride and bridegroom. An eclipse would have been very disturbing. One thing about the Enoch model is that he says all these rules are basically static. The sky is predictable. But what if the most predictable thing on the planet does something unpredictable? The followers of this model would have went nuts. And considering that there were 2 eclipses in 12 years, it's basically no wonder that an end-of-the-world scenario was detected. With the Enoch cosmological model, the Book of Revelation, and the Theophilus of Antioch understanding of the mystery of astronomy, I think I have a very strong circumstantial case. Early Christianity was likely born of these 2 eclipses. Up until this point, I didn't have a clear version of the cosmological model I was dealing with. I've had a lot of seemingly related evidence that I couldn't put forward without a working model, but at this point I see no reason to hold anything back. Both before Christianity and after Christianity, there are working models that explain the catalyst event as an eclipse. So at this point, I'm heading straight for that explanation.